Hi guys, I know it's been 40 billion years, but welcome back to Book Blabs, all right? Good evening. Merry belated Christmas. It is Friday, December 27th, and I have a huge accumulative book haul for you guys. December is my favorite month of the year. It has my birthday at the beginning of the month and it has Christmas at the end of the month. So I've been getting a lot of books. So I have a lot of books here, but I want to say it's an accumulative haul based upon, I want to say, the past month and a half. So these are just books that I've been either receiving as gifts or buying for myself over the past, I'll say it again, month and a half. This is not all one or two shopping trips because I don't got that kind of money, although I wish I did. All right, so let's just get into it. All right, so first, I'm going to start off with books that I got for my birthday. My boyfriend got me like a Christmas bookish advent calendar for like as my birthday present. So he took 11 books and he wrapped them up and I opened them like every other day for the month of December leading up until Christmas. So I'm going to go through those. All right. So day one of my advent calendar for my birthday, it started with a dog by Julia London. So this is just like a cute like rom-com book, I believe. It says, thanks to an accidental phone swap, two adorable rescue pups, and a coffeehouse clash, a holiday flirtation goes to the dogs and hilarity ensues. So it says, all Harper Thompson wants for Christmas is the huge promotion she's worked so hard for, which she should get, as long as her launch of a hip new coffee house, Deja Brew, goes according to plan. Jonah Rogers is trying to save his family's coffee shop, the Lucky Star, from going out of business, which will be tough with the brand new Deja Brew opening across the street. When Jonah and Harper meet for the first time after accidentally swapping phones, their chemistry is as electric as a strand of Christmas lights. He's a tall, handsome, compassionate hunk of engineer, and she's an entrepreneur whose zest for life is very sexy. They love all the same things, like scary movies, greasy food, and most of all, dogs. It's a match made in heaven until Jonah finds out that Harper's the one about to put him out of business. Only one coffee shop is likely to survive, and a competition of one-upmanship ensues in a battle of the brews. The paws really come out when the local rescue shelter has a fundraiser where local businesses foster dogs and patrons vote with their dollars for their favorite pup. Harper takes in an adorable old bulldog on behalf of Deja Brew, while Jonah fosters a perky three-legged dachshund for the Lucky Star. As the excitement builds for who will be crowned King Mutt and King of the Coffee Hill, Harper and Jonah must decide if their connection was all steam or if they are the perfect blend. So I thought this book was super cute because I love dogs, I love romance, and I'm starting to get into coffee. So I just think it's cute that it's like warring rivals to lovers, like warring coffee shop kind of vibes. Yes. All right, that was, oh, I should probably put the sticker. I kept the little stickers he gave me for my little hints. Next is day two. This one is another one, but this is a holiday doggy romance. So it says Unleashed Holiday by Victoria Schade. It says, when an old rival reappears right before the holidays, a professional dog trainer must decide if the melting frost between them can make up for their rough past. Chelsea Higgins is doing just fine. She's heading into the holidays at the helm of a thriving dog training business, and she's got a mellow senior dog at home to keep her warm at the end of the day. What more could she need? Enter certified gym bro Andrew Gibson, Chelsea's former nemesis and now newest neighbor in her business complex, who also wants to expand into the vacant space Chelsea's been eyeing for months. Who cares if it's the season of joy? Let the turf war begin. When an unfortunate and literal run-in with Andrew's lawless dog leaves Chelsea with a bum wrist, the two strike a deal. Andrew will help Chelsea rehab the injury if she'll work with him to train his adorably uncivilized boxer. Their typical bickering soon turns to bantering, and Chelsea finds herself inexplicably drawn to the man she thought she had nothing in common with. As she gets to know Andrew and his parents, she realizes she needs to refocus on her own family, especially with the milestone Christmas speeding toward them. But Chelsea can't help wondering if she and Andrew are training for keeps, or if this unexpected Christmas gift is just too good to be true. I thought it was so cute. Plus, like the little boxer. Oh my god, I'm obsessed. So cute. Day 3, he got me one that I've been really wanting for a super long time. It's called What Happens After Midnight by K.L. Walther. The game is almost afoot. Will you join my band of fools? Email thejackster23@gmail.com with your answer. Lily Hopper has 2 more weeks until she's officially finished with boarding school. With graduation quickly approaching, Lily is worried that she somehow missed out on the fun of being in high school. So when she receives a mysterious note inviting her to join the anonymous senior class jester in executing the end-of-year prank, Lily sees her chance to put her goody two-shoes reputation behind her. When Lily realizes the jester is none other than Taggart Swell, her ex-boyfriend, she's already in too deep to back out, and it's going to be a problem. Lily might have dumped Tag, but she still has major feelings. Plus, his brilliant plan to steal the school's yearbook targets none other than Lily's prom date, the senior class president, Daniel. As the group of pranksters hide cryptic clues across campus for Daniel to find, Lily and Tag find themselves in close quarters. As the exes dodge campus safety guards, night owl teachers, a troop of freshmen, and even Daniel himself, new sparks fly between them. But old hurts and painful secrets refuse to be ignored. And with graduation on the horizon, sometimes it takes letting go to realize that some bonds can't be broken. I thought this book just sounds super sweet because it's a YA, obviously, but I love a good second chance, especially when you're young, because I feel like young love is just so pure and innocent, and it's going to be fun because, they're going to be doing a prank war, and I think it's just going to be a quick, easy, fun read. Next is another, I think it's YA as well. It's another romance. It's Places We've Never Been by Kasie West. I forgot which booktuber I got this book from, but it sounded so good. I'm going to read the back to you. It says, Love takes you places. Nora Simon's summer road trip is going to be absolutely perfect. She's leaving California for the first time in her life. She's interviewing at her dream college. And she's reconnecting with her childhood friend, Skylar Hutton, the boy who taught her to draw, the boy she still hasn't forgotten about after all these years. What could go wrong? Cue the RV filled with too many people and years of memories, and suddenly this trip isn't quite the vacation Nora was hoping for, especially when Skylar makes it clear he would rather be anywhere else. But Nora isn't one to give up without a fight, and as they travel from desert heat to mountain vista, sparks begin to fly between these two ex-best friends. After all, a connection like theirs doesn't just fade away, does it? So I thought this was cute. It's also very short and sweet. Another YA. I really also like kind of close proximity, and so I feel like this book is going to be super sweet. The next book he got me, day 5 in my little advent calendar. I'm so excited for this one. Expiration Dates by Rebecca Serle. So it says, Daphne Bell believes the universe has a plan for her. Every time she meets a new man, she receives a slip of paper with his name and a number on it, the exact amount of time they will be together. The papers told her she'd spend 3 days with Martin in Paris, 5 weeks with Noah in San Francisco, and 3 months with Hugo, her ex-boyfriend turned best friend. Daphne has been receiving the numbered papers for over 20 years, always wondering when there might be one without an expiration. Finally, the night of a blind date at her favorite Los Angeles restaurant, there's only a name: Jake. But as Jake and Daphne's story unfolds, Daphne finds herself doubting the paper's prediction and wrestling with what it means to be both committed and truthful, because Daphne knows things Jake doesn't, information that, if he found out, would break his heart. Told with her signature warmth and insight into matters of the heart, Rebecca Serle has finally set her sights on romantic love. The result is a gripping, emotional, passionate, and yes, heartbreaking novel about what it means to be single, what it means to find love, and ultimately how we define each of them for ourselves. Expiration Dates is the one readers have been waiting for. So I really wanted to read this book because, or I still want to read this book. Like, I wanted to own this book because I read, I think it's called One Italian Summer by Rebecca Serle, and I loved that book. I thought it was super emotional, super well written, super atmospheric. And so I'm hoping I love her writing style. So I'm going to read this book and see if it's just like, her writing style that I love. Day 6 is another romance. I love my romance. Sorry. It's Hello Stranger by Katherine Center. First of all, can we just take a second to look how beautiful this cover is? Like, these colors are just working for me. And you can call me crazy, but it's kind of giving like La La Land, like City of Stars. I know there's more colors. It's supposed to be like blue and yellow for City of Stars, but I can think whatever I want to think, okay? Love isn't blind. It's just a little blurry. Sadie Montgomery never saw what was coming, literally. One minute she's celebrating the biggest achievement of her life, placing as a finalist in the North American Portrait Society competition. The next she's lying in a hospital bed diagnosed with the probably temporary condition known as face blindness. She can see, but every face she looks at is now a jumbled puzzle of disconnected features. Imagine trying to read a book upside down and in another language. This is Sadie's new reality with every face that she sees. But as she struggles to cope, hang on to her artistic dream, work through her major family issues, and take care of her beloved dog Peanut, she falls in love? Lust? A temporary obsession to distract from the real problems in her life. With not one, but two very different men. The timing couldn't be worse. If only her life were a little more in focus, Sadie might be able to find her way. But perceiving anything clearly right now seems impossible, even though there are things we could only find when we aren't looking. And there are people who show up when we least expect them. And there are always, always other ways of seeing. I thought this book just sounded so like interesting. Um like and I thought that'd be a really cool premise to like read about and think about, like the face blindness and like how you navigate the world and how you can navigate like getting to know people and like your loved one. Because if you can't see their face, I feel like a face is a huge part. It's not all there is to attraction, don't get me wrong. I promise I'm not shallow, but like I feel like that attraction is a big part of the chemistry besides the meeting of souls and stuff like that. So I just thought it'd be really interesting to like read. Yeah, of course. That's why it's on my wish list and TBR. I'm sorry guys, it is currently 10:46 at night on a Friday. Like, I had a long day at work, but we are getting through it. I want to give you this haul, okay? I am dedicated. So, day 7 is Loathe to Love You by Ali Hazelwood. And I love Ali Hazelwood's writing. I love it. So this is her collection of short stories. I think there's 3 different novellas in here, 3 different short stories. So there's Under One Roof, Stuck With You, and Below Zero. So Under One Roof says an environmental engineer discovers that scientists should never cohabitate when she finds herself stuck with the roommate from hell, a detestable big oil lawyer who won't leave the thermostat alone. So that's from like opposite worlds. One is an environmental engineer trying to like, combat climate change, I'm assuming. And the other one is a big oil lawyer who could not give 2 hoots about climate change. The next is Stuck With You, and it says a civil engineer and her nemesis take their rivalry and love to the next level when they get stuck in a New York elevator. That sounds like an anxiety attack or waiting to happen, but okay. And lastly is Below Zero. A NASA aerospace engineer's frozen heart melts as she lies injured and stranded at a remote Arctic research station, and the only person willing to undertake the dangerous rescue mission is her longtime rival. Okay, that one I feel like I'm going to eat up. Oh my God. Especially if it's like close proximity Tension. I love tension. I love tension. All right, day 8 of 11 is I'm excited for all of these. I need to shut up about that. But it's The Illustrated Man by Ray Bradbury. And this was a recommendation I got from watching Criminal Minds because Spencer Reed, the sexy man that he is. Sorry, I had to take a side there. He was talking about it. If El Greco had painted miniatures in his prime, no bigger than your hand, infinitely detailed, with his sulphurous color and exquisite human anatomy, perhaps he might have used this man's body for his art. Yet the illustrated man has tried to burn the illustrations off. He's tried sandpaper, acid, and a knife, because as the sun sets, the pictures glow like charcoals, like scattered gems. They quiver and come to life. Tiny pink hands gesture, tiny mouths flicker as the figures enact their stories. Voices rise, small and muted, predicting the future. Blending magic, imagination, and truth with Bradbury's rich storytelling skills and beautifully crafted imagery, these are startling and thought-provoking visions of humankind's destiny. So if that didn't make sense to you, it's about like this man who's tattooed and his tattoos like come to life. And like they start telling a story. I don't know. It's very cool. I am excited to read this one. Day 9 is Blame It on the Brontes by Annie Sereno. They have a love story only a Bronte could write. English professor Athena Murphy is an authority on the novels of the Bronte sisters, but as they say in academia, publish or perish. To save her job, Athena decides to write a biography of C.L. Garland, the author heating up bestseller lists with spicy retellings of classic literature. Tracking down the reclusive writer and uncovering her secret identity, though, means Athena must return to her small Midwestern hometown, where Garland and her ex-boyfriend Thorne Kent live. Seeing Thorne again reminds Athena that real life never lives up to fiction. He was the Heathcliff to her Katherine, the Mr. Rochester to her Jane. Not only did their college breakup shatter that illusion, but they also broke each other's hearts again a second time. Now she has to see him nearly every single day. The only solution is to find C.L. Garland as quickly as possible, write the book, and get the heck out of town. As her deadline looms and the list of potential C.L. Garlands dwindles, Athena and Thorne bicker and banter their way back to friendship. Could it really be true that the third time's a charm? There's a little doggy on the cover. I thought it was cute. I love classic literature. I mean, I was an English major, so I thought this was cute. That it's like based on like spicy retellings and like about people who also like to read literature. Day 10 is a Christmas book. It seems cute. It's called Faking Christmas by Kerry Winfrey. And it says, Laurel Grant works as the social media manager for Buckeye State of Mind, an Ohio tourism magazine and website. She most definitely does not run a farm, but one tiny misunderstanding leads her boss, Gilbert, to think she owns her twin sister Holly's farm just outside of Columbus. Laurel only handles the social media for the farm, but she's happy to keep her little white lie going if it means not getting fired. She cannot be jobless again. And keep it going she must when Gilbert, recently dumped by his wife, invites himself over for the farm's big Christmas Eve dinner, as advertised on Meadow Rise Farm's Instagram thanks to Laurel herself. Laurel immediately goes into panic mode to figure out how she can trick Gilbert into thinking she's basically the moral... It's going to take that back. Laurel immediately goes into panic mode to figure out how she can trick Gilbert into thinking she's basically the Martha Stewart of rural Ohio and keep her job in the process. Laurel and Holly come up with the perfect plan. All Laurel has to do is pretend to own the farm for one dinner. But Laurel shows up at the farm to find an unwelcome guest is waiting, Max Beckett, her nemesis since Holly's wedding. The annoyingly attractive man she hates will be posing as Laurel's husband just for the evening. But when a snowstorm traps all of them for the entire weekend, Laurel is going to have to figure out how to survive with her job and dignity intact. Whatever the case, this promises to be the most eventful Christmas in ages. I love it. I love it. We've got fake dating. I guess it would be fake marriage at this point. Yeah. I don't know. So good. Um, Plus, if they get snowed in, they might be in like close proximity. Plus, since they're like nemesis, um, there might be good juicy banter. So I'm gonna eat that up. Last but not least, for my bookish advent calendar day, I am so freaking excited for this one. It's The Cemetery of Untold Stories by Julia Alvarez. So, Alma Cruz, the celebrated writer at the heart of The Cemetery of Untold Stories, doesn't want to end up like her friend, a novelist who fought so long and hard to finish a book that it threatened her sanity. So, when Alma inherits a small plot of land in the Dominican Republic, her homeland, she has the beautiful idea of turning it into a place to bury her untold stories. Literally. She creates a graveyard for the manuscript drafts and the characters whose lives she tried and failed to bring to life and who still haunt her. Alma wants her characters to rest in peace, but they have other ideas and soon begin to defy their author. They talk back to her and talk to one another behind her back, rewriting and revising themselves. Philomena, a local woman hired as the groundskeeper, becomes a sympathetic listener to the secret tales unspooled by Alma's characters. Among them, Bienvenida, dictator Rafael Trujillo's abandoned wife, who was erased from the official history, and Manuel Cruz, a doctor who fought in the Dominican underground and escaped to the United States. The Cemetery of Untold Stories asks, whose stories get to be told and who's buried? Finally, Alma finds the meaning she and her characters yearn for in the everlasting vitality of stories. Julia Alvarez reminds us that the narratives of our lives are never truly finished, even at the end. Like, goosebumps. That's so good. And I feel like it's so meta too, because it's like, do ideas really die? Like, can you bury an idea? I feel like no, because eventually, like, once that seed is planted, it's gonna like blossom and grow. Like, I don't know. I'm so freaking excited. That book seems so good. So good. So good. What song is that? I don't know. Okay. So next I have a couple books that I did get for my birthday from other people, and I'm grateful. Thank you to everyone. Thank you to my boyfriend for that bookish advent calendar. Like, let's talk about a good boyfriend. Like, love that man. Shout out Jaden. Next, thank you to everyone who got me these books that I'm about to go through. All right. So, first, I got this beautiful copy of Pride and Prejudice from one of my besties, Lexi. Thank you, Lexi. I love it. Pride and Prejudice is like one of my favorite classics of all time. Classic Jane Austen, you know. Plus, this cover is gorge. You must allow me to tell you how ardently I admire and I love you. Obsessed. Obsessed. It's so pretty. Plus, when it sits on my shelf, like, look at it, the heart. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Next, from Sam, or Mama Sam, I got Fang Fiction by Kate Stayman-London. Thank you. Let me read the back. It's so good. Tess Rosenblum is no stranger to the dark. An assault survivor and grad school dropout, Tess spends her nights managing a chic Brooklyn hotel and her days reading her favorite vampire novels, Blood Feud. She even dabbles in online conspiracies claiming Blood Feud is real. It's fun to hunt for clues, but deep down, Tess doesn't believe vampires actually exist until one walks through her door. It turns out the sexy villain of Blood Feud is trapped and only Tess can rescue him. Eager to escape her life, Tess agrees to help, and soon she's on a secret island where the sun never shines, surrounded by deadly vampires, and most terrifying of all, She's falling in love with one of them. And back in New York, Tess's estranged best friend is having a sapphic paranormal affair of her own. Visiting the world of your favorite story is any fan's dream, but can Tess outrun the demons of her past and the vampires of her present before that dream becomes a nightmare? In this darkly glamorous rom-com, Tess will find out if it's worth risking her neck and her heart for a chance to reclaim her future. Like, isn't that just the funnest idea ever? Again, I know fun's not a word. Isn't that the most fun idea ever? Like, ugh, I just love it. Like, because she's a reader and then she gets to enter the world of one of her favorite books. So I'm like, when's my turn? you know? Next one, this one's not really like a book, but I still love it. I got 2 books from my friend Jake. Thank you, Jake. He's also a reader, so he's got great. I mean, all my friends are readers, so they all have amazing taste. So, this is Tequila Mockingbird, Cocktails with a Literary Twist. So I thought this was really thoughtful of him because all of these cocktail ideas have to do with like literary things. So love that. I'm gonna have to use it. And the next thing I got from Jake, it's one of his favorite books, I Who Have Never Known Men by Jacqueline Harpman. And I've heard amazing things about this book, like amazing things. It says, deep underground, 39 women live imprisoned in a cage. Watched over by guards, the women have no memory of how they got there, no notion of time, and only a vague recollection of their lives before. As the burn of electric light merges day into night and numberless years pass, a young girl, the 40th prisoner, sits alone and outcast in the corner. Soon she will show herself to be the key to the others' escape and survival in the strange world that awaits them above ground. Like, crazy. Crazy. That sounds so good. And then last but not least for my birthday books is from my sister, my sissy, Ashley. She got me Sally's Lament by Mari Mancousi, which is another one of these. I collect these Disney twisted tales because I love Disney. I love retellings. So it says, what if Sally discovered Christmastown? Sally loves her creepy home of Halloween Town, but lately she can't help wanting something more. In a place full of all things frightening, one would think living in the shadows wouldn't be so isolating. Stuck in the lab of her creator, Dr. Finkelstein, Sally's restless, feeling like nothing more than a glorified servant. She knows she can do so much more, but Dr. Finkelstein just won't listen. When Sally sneaks into the graveyard, she finds that Jack, the Pumpkin King, is having his own doubts about life in Halloween Town. Determined to find a solution for them both, Sally follows a new vision that could be the key to changing their fates. Soon Sally uncovers a strange new land where everything is red and green. The ground is covered in ice, and the citizens are downright jolly. Could this be the change she and Jack have been longing for? But the more time Sally spends there, the more suspicious she grows that the Christmas town cheer isn't as genuine as it first seemed. What does it truly mean to be put on the naughty list? What is lurking behind those dancing sugared plums? And will Sally be able to save the best of both towns before it's too late? And I thought that was cool because, in the regular movie, Jack is the one who finds it and he's like, all right, I need to bring Christmas to Halloween Town. But I feel like she's going to be more thoughtful and more reflective of it. So I'm really excited to hear like her thoughts and that kind of take on it. For Christmas, I forgot to grab them. They're not with me, but huge shout out to my brother Jeff. For Christmas, we do Secret Santa because I have 6 other siblings. There's 7 of us total. So we just do Secret Santa. That way we don't have to like spend a whole bunch of money getting gifts for every sibling. But my brother Jeff got me, and he and his girlfriend stalked my Goodreads, and they got me 3 books on my wish list. So thank you guys. Love you. I'm going to include pictures because they're across the room, and I don't want to get up. I'm sorry. I got The Blood of Hercules, which is like a new romantasy, like retelling of like it's like a Greek mythological retelling. I'll also include a picture of the synopsis if you want to pause and read. Um, go right ahead. Next, I got Daydream by Ms. Hannah Grace, which is book 3 of the I want to say Maple Hills or something like that. I forgot what the universe is called, but it's like Icebreaker Wildfire universe. This is our Sweet Henry's book, the book we've been waiting for. So I'm really excited. I know this came out a while ago, but I've been waiting to read it because I've been hearing mixed reviews on it, but I'm still going to read it eventually. So I love that. And lastly, I got The God of the Woods by Liz Moore, and this one is like kind of like a lit fic / mystery thriller kind of. I'm going to include a synopsis, so please pause it and read it if you would like. Yeah, I got those from my brother Jeff. So thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Kylie, for helping him out. Love that. Okay, I played one game of White Elephant and I got a book, surprise, surprise, from it, which is actually a nice surprise because you don't know what you're going to get. But I got the Yellowstone Bar book. So another cocktail book, but this one's based off of, I'm assuming, the show Yellowstone. Yeah. Okay, now let's get into the stuff that I have bought. Okay. So first, I bought this because it's gorgeous. But it's The Courting of Bristol Keats by Mary E. Pearson. So it's dangerous fae, dark secrets, addictive romance. After losing both their parents, Bristol Keats and her sisters struggle to stay afloat in their small, quiet town of Bowes Keep. When Bristol begins to receive letters from an aunt she's never heard of who promises she can help, she reluctantly agrees to meet and discovers that everything she thought she knew about her family is a lie. Her father might even still be alive, not killed, but kidnapped by terrifying creatures and taken to a whole other realm, the one he is from. Desperate to save her father and find the truth, Bristol journeys to a land of gods and fae and monsters. Pulled into a dangerous world of magic and intrigue, she makes a deadly bargain with the fae leader, Tegan. But what she doesn't know is that he's the one who drove her parents to live a life on the run, and he is just as determined as she to find her father, dead or alive. Like, that's already like begging for betrayal. Plus there's magic, plus there's fae. So sold. Sold. Next is A Jingle Bell Mingle by Julie Murphy and Sierra Simone, which I know because of these authors, I know it's going to be a spicy Christmas book. So it says, what happens when there are no vacancies at the inn and you and your potentially demonic cat become roommates with your grumpy one-night stand? Part-time adult film actress, one-time adult film director, and makeup artist Sunny Palmer has accidentally sold her very first screenplay to the Hope Channel. That was 6 months ago. Fast forward to a looming deadline and a floundering Sunny has returned to the source for inspiration, Christmas Notch, Vermont, to immerse herself in the local Christmas miracle on which her fever dream of a movie pitch was based. Isaac Kelly, her former boy band heartthrob and the saddest boy in the music biz, is the latest owner of the town's historic mansion. After putting his record label on hold for years while he recovered from the heartbreak following the death of his young wife, Isaac has been given an ultimatum: write some new music or lose his contract. What better place to attempt his first solo holiday album than a snow-covered mansion where he can become a hermit in peace? But after their best friend's wedding leads to Sunny and Isaac waking up together in a freezing motel room with questionable wiring and a broken shower, Isaac takes a chance and asks Sunny to stay with him at his home. Surely the place is big enough that he'll hardly see her or her unhinged cat. But when the two discover they're both creatively blocked, they make a handshake deal. Isaac will help Sunny hunt down the truth behind the local lore, and Sunny will find Isaac a new muse. With these two opposites under one roof, there's no way this Jingle Bell Mingle could ever go off script, right? So that's like close proximity, trying to discover yourself, do some soul searching during Christmas after pee break. Sippy, sippy. Next, we have The Half King by Melissa Landers. I also bought this because it's gorgeous. Like, hello? A king by day, shadow by night. Shadow Daddy! The great betrayal changed everything for the allied realm. Long ago, the kingdom's noble houses rose up against the goddess, and for their treachery, the firstborn of each noble family was cursed. One with perilous beauty, one with destructive knowledge, one with insatiable bloodlust. But the royal house, Mortara, received the worst affliction of all. For while the king exists during the day, he fades into nothingness at night, until his 21st birthday, when he will be lost to the shadows forever. Now an acolyte has arrived at court. Like all the second-born children of the allied realm, she's destined to serve the goddess and become a seer. Only Cerise Solon has no gift of foretelling. In fact, she has no magical gift at all. Instead, she's surrounded by courtiers and priests, smiling sycophants whose hearts are filled with secrets and lies. And at the center of it all sits His Majesty, King Hannibal Mortara, with his haunting eyes, sharp tongue, and an unerring ability to send her pulse skittering at the worst possible moments. Falling for him is unthinkable, because the king is the last of his line, and as the specter of his 21st birthday and the full force of his curse approaches, the kingdom holds his breath. Or the kingdom holds its breath. But there's only one way to save a dying king, and it lies with the one person who's hiding the biggest secret of all. Cerise. Like, what's the secret? Like, I want to know. Like, what's the secret? Oh, I'm so excited. Next, I got Eleanor and Park because look how cute. It says nothing before you counts. Bono met his wife in high school, Park says. So did Jerry Lee Lewis, Eleanor answers. I'm not kidding, he says. You should be, she says. We're 16. What about Romeo and Juliet? Shallow, confused, then dead. I love you, Park says. Wherefore art thou? Eleanor answers. I'm not kidding, he says. You should be. Set over the course of one school year in 1986. This is the story of two star-crossed misfits smart enough to know that first love almost never lasts, but brave and desperate enough to try. When Eleanor meets Park, you'll remember your own first love and just how hard it pulled you under. I'm losing it. The next book is Blood Guard by Ceci Robson. Another beautiful cover. Like it's giving Gladiator. 100 years, tens of thousands of gladiators, and today only one will rise. Everything in the kingdom of Arrow is a lie. Leith of Grey thought coming to this new land and volunteering to fight in the gladiator arena, vicious bloodthirsty tournaments where only the strongest survive, would earn him enough gold to save his dying sister. He thought there was nothing left to lose. He was wrong, and they took everything. His hope, his freedom, his very humanity. All Leith has left is his battle-scarred body, fueled by rage and hardened from years of fighting for the right to live another day. Then Leith meets Maeve, an elven royal who's everything he despises, everything he should hate, until the alluring princess offers him the one thing he needs most, a chance to win the coveted title of Bloodguard and his freedom. But in a kingdom built on secrets and lies, hope doesn't come cheap, nor will his ultimate revenge. Woo doggy. Next is A Study in Drowning by Ava Reed. I pre-ordered this because I just loved the books. It says, Effie Sayre has always believed in fairy tales. Even though, crumbling under the pressure of her first term at college, she can't always seem to tell the difference between fact and fiction. Her only solace has been Angarid, an epic from Lyrian national hero and author Emrys Mirrodin? Taken by chance and maybe fate to the late author's estate, she is intent on finding the purpose to her own story, but instead stumbles upon Preston Hillary, a scholar from the Literature College. Preston has come to um, Heareth Manor, determined to prove Effie's favorite author is a fraud, and her only hope of proving him wrong is to conspire with him. But Heareth, perched on the very edge of a wrathful ocean, holds dark secrets, the likes of which both Effie and Preston thought only existed in the page of Mirrodin's stories. The house and the truth might just ruin them both, as the sea threatens to swallow it, them, and all their stories whole. So it says it's part historical fantasy, part rivals to lovers romance, and part gothic mystery. This feminist fairy tale has captivated readers with its haunting, dreamlike atmosphere. Obsessed. Okay, next I have a couple Christmas books. So A Holly Jolly Ever After by the same authors, Julie Murphy and Sierra Simone. Callum Lieberman is the funny one, TM, or trademark, I should say. As the arguably lesser of the three former members of the boy band Inc., he enjoyed his 15 minutes of fame, then moved home, where he opened a regional pizza chain called Slice Slice Baby. He's living his best dad bod life, hooking up with bridesmaids at all his friends' weddings. But after an old one-off sex tape is leaked and quickly goes viral, Callum decides he's ready to step into the spotlight again, starring in a sexy Santa biopic for the Hope Channel. Winnie Baker did everything right. She married her childhood sweetheart, avoided the pitfalls of adolescent stardom, and transitioned into a stable acting career as an adult. Hell, she even waited until marriage to have sex. But after her perfect life falls apart, Winnie is ready to redefine herself, and what better way to do that than to star in a steamier than a steaming hot mug of cider Christmas movie? With decade-old Hollywood history between them, Winnie and Callum are both feeling hesitant about their new situation as co-stars, especially Winnie, who can't seem to fake on-screen pleasure she's never experienced in real life. She's willing to do the pleasure research for science and artistic authenticity, of course, and there's no better research partner than her bridesmaid sex tape Hall of Fame co-star. But suddenly, Callum's teenage crush on Winnie is bubbling to the surface, and Winnie might be catching feelings herself. They say opposites attract, but is this Holly Jolly Ever After really ready for its close-up? It's going to be a spicy Christmas book. They're literally practicing and filming an adult film. So it's spice around Christmas, if that checks any of your boxes. Next, I've heard so much about this author. I got The Christmas Tree Farm by Laurie Gilmore. So it says a small town, spicy, festive romance. Kira North hates Christmas, which is unfortunate since she just bought a Christmas tree farm in a town that's too cute for its own good. Bennett Ellis is on vacation in Dream Harbor, trying to take a break from both his life and his constant desire to always fix things. But somehow fate finds Ben trapped by a blanket of snow at Kira's farm, and despite her grinchiest first impressions, with the glow of the fairy lights twinkling in the trees and the promise of a warming hot chocolate, maybe, just maybe, these two lost souls will have a Christmas they'll remember forever. So look at the dog. That's so cute. Now we have Kiss Me at Christmas by Jenny Bayliss. So Christmas can officially get stuffed because Harriet Smith is not feeling bright and merry this year. She hasn't for a while. So when her daughter opts for New York's winter wonderland instead of spending Christmas at home, Harriet finds herself seeking solace, starting with a wine-soaked one-night stand. But after she takes the fall for some students who break into the town's old winter theater, Harriet's holiday plans are swiftly decided for her. To get the students off the hook, the theater's elderly owner requests that Harriet direct the nearly defunct stage final Christmas performance. Of course, Harriet will do anything to help the kids, even work with the owner's lawyer, who, as it turns out, is her less than impressed one-night stand. Will some good old-fashioned Christmas cheer be enough to remind her what makes life merry and bright? Next, we have a 2-for-1. I got the Barnes special editions of One Dark Window and Two Twisted Crowns. I don't really want to read the synopsis of this second one. Oh my gosh, this book's so heavy. I didn't even realize that. But I will read One Dark Window. Elspeth needs a monster. The monster might be her. Elspeth Spindle needs more than luck to stay safe in the eerie, mist-locked kingdom she calls home. She needs a monster. She calls him the Nightmare, an ancient mercurial spirit trapped in her head. He protects her. He keeps her secrets. But nothing comes for free, especially magic. When Elspeth meets a mysterious highwayman on the forest road, her life takes a drastic turn. Thrust into a world of shadow and deception, she joins a dangerous quest to cure the kingdom of the dark magic infecting it. Except the highwayman just so happens to be the king's own nephew, captain of the Destriers, and guilty of high treason. He and Elspeth have until solstice to gather 12 Providence cards, the keys to the cure. But as the stakes heighten and their undeniable attraction intensifies, Elspeth is forced to face her darkest secret yet. The nightmare is slowly, darkly taking over her mind, and she might not be able to stop him. It's like, look how beautiful this special edition is. And then I don't want to read the synopsis for this one because I don't want any spoilers. Next, I got Wicked because I saw the movie and I was like, I need to read the book now. So I got Wicked. I got Louisa May Alcott's Little Women, which is a classic. I feel like everybody knows the plot of Little Women. I've never read it and I didn't own it, so I bought myself a copy. At the beginning of this year, I borrowed my friend Lorelei's book called The Butterfly Garden by Dot Hutchison, and this is by far one of my favorite reads of the year. Like, it is so creepy, but so freaking captivating. It's about this guy who's a collector, and he collects and kidnaps young women in their prime. So like I want to say like 16, 17, 18-year-old girls, he kidnaps them and he tattoos butterflies onto their backs, and he calls them his butterflies, and he keeps them in an enclosed space, kind of like a garden, like a butterfly garden. Yeah, and it's like really creepy, really dark. But it's so good. So I just wanted to own a physical copy of it because I borrowed it from her. So obviously I had to give it back, but now I have my own copy that I can go reread and annotate, and I'm super excited. Next, we have The Cursed King by Abigail Owen. I got this because it was pink, but also fantasy. It says, there's also dragons. Eric Azdeja, the rightful High King of all dragon shifters, spent half a millennium being tortured by the false High King Pythios. Eric was kept alive barely and unable to shift because of a curse. The man who kills Eric will be consumed in his own fire. Upon his escape, Eric realizes he'll never be truly free. He'll never be able to shift, ever, because Eric's dragon, vicious and filled with uncontained rage, has turned feral over the last 5 centuries. Letting his dragon free would be an instant bloodbath. There's only one person who doesn't shy away from him, which is almost worse, because to a broken man, the warmth and temptation of Angelica Amon is both heaven and hell. Forces are shifting against the High King, pitting dragon against dragon, and whether Eric likes it or not, his fate seems to be tied to the phoenix who haunts his dream and tests every ounce of his control. But loving Angelica means unleashing the most lethal creature in their world, his dragon. So not only does this have dragons, it has phoenixes. And so I love both of those mythological creatures. Plus it has, I think, romance. So hells yeah. All right, last 3 books. So I got these 3 today because Barnes was having a sale for 1/3 off the price of all hardcovers. So I got Reckless, which is book 2 in a Powerless series. I haven't read the first book, but I was like, it's a 1/3 off right now and I'm going to be buying it anyways, so might as well save money, you know? But yes, I got this one. I got the collector's edition of The Perfect Marriage by Geneva Rose. It's signed, so that's swagalicious. And look, the cover has like blood on it. So all I know about this one, I don't want to read too much into it because I don't want to like know too much, but it's like, I think she's an attorney or some kind of like powerful woman, and her husband's cheating on her, but then his mistress winds up dead, and we're kind of like, what happened? Who did it? And last but not least, I read this book on my Kindle. I finished it last night and I was literally obsessed with it, so I had to go buy a physical copy today. And that is Quicksilver by Callie Hart. If you have not read this book, what are you doing? It's so good. Like Sarah J. Maas level obsessed. We have the Shadow Daddy, who's tall, tattooed, grumpy, and handsome. He's like longish black hair, green eyes. We have a feisty, badass female main character, like she's alien coded. We have a really cool magic system. We have great characterization, great plot. The next book doesn't come out until November of 2025, though, so I'm gonna go cry in a corner. But yeah, I'm so excited to like annotate this now because I'm literally obsessed. Like I read this book so fast, and it's chonky. Yeah. Anyways, thank you for being patient and sitting through this extremely long book haul. I love everyone who's gifted me books, and I'm so thankful to be able to buy all these books. Yeah, I hope you guys have a good night. Comment down below if you've read any of these books or which ones I should prioritize and read first. But yeah, I love you guys. Happy reading, and I'll see you next time. Bye!